Oh, boy. You guys ready to do an AFC West preview?
Oh, Lord.
Oh, I suppose.
Oh, boy. We'll have fun with this also. Jesus, you. We start things off with the Las Vegas Raiders, who finished last season with a... Where the hell did I put it? An 8-9 record. Fired... What was it? They fired Josh McDaniels partially through the season. Antonio Pierce was named the interim head coach and then later the full-time head coach. I don't know where the Raiders go here. Because part of me thinks that the Raiders will be better than where they were. Part of me also thinks this is the worst team in the AFC West. Jack, where do you think?
It's between them and the Broncos for the bottom spot, honestly.
I don't know.
I think there is, yeah. I mean, I think the Broncos might build on I think they're more likely to build on what they did last year versus the Raiders. I think the Raiders are just like, there's no... I don't even know what there is. I don't know what there is to offer with this team this year. Like, there's not...
Well... Vegas has Tyree Wilson, who's not bad. Max Crosby, who's an animal and a half.
Crosby's a beast, yeah.
Crosby's an animal. That's a trade target if anyone is interested. Robert Spillane is also not that bad. Colton Miller's a very good left tackle.
They brought in Christian Wilkins from Miami, too.
Hey, that's a massive contract.
Big contract.
Some people are saying that the Raiders trade Devontae Adams. I don't think they do.
I don't think they do either. I don't think they should.
Let's talk to the resident Jet fan here in the chat.
So, oddly enough, talking about Devontae Adams, shameless plug, I wrote an article about said topic on BellyUpSports.com. This actually, I think it's the last article I wrote for them because I've been just so concentrated on the podcast side. I haven't been able to write articles a whole lot recently. But I said it depends on where the Raiders are after week 9. Their schedule for the first 9 weeks is rough.
Yeah.
Here's their schedule. At the Chargers, at the Ravens, home against Carolina. They should beat Carolina. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Home against Cleveland, at Denver. They should beat Denver. At home against Pittsburgh. At the Rams. Home against the Chiefs on Sunday. Home against the Chiefs. And then at Cincinnati. And that's the bye week. And then the bye week comes. If they're 2-7, and the last game, the trade deadline is after week 9. So on election day, November 5th is going to be the trade deadline. If they're 2-7 at that point and they're just treading water, and I mean, and after that, schedule doesn't get any better. It doesn't get any easier.
No.
First game after they come back from the bye is at Miami.
Oh boy.
Home against Denver, at Kansas City, at Tampa, home against the Falcons, home against the Jaguars, at the Saints, and they end their season against the Chargers. I mean, you can get. I mean, the Raiders are improved. It was a smart decision by Mark Davis, and that's saying a lot because when they fired
McDaniels.
Well, I'm thinking about. Okay, so I'm going back to the John Gruden year. I'm going back to the year when John Gruden had to be let go because of the controversy with him. Rich Pisaglia took over for that team. They went up a wild card spot. I said extend Rich Pisaglia. Mark Davis let him go to Green Bay, become their special teams coach. Brought in McDaniel. That was a train wreck. Fired McDaniel. Brought in Antonio Pierce. Promoted him from the linebackers coach. At the end of the season, every player was like, if he doesn't stay as head coach, this is a mistake. This is a mistake.
Yeah.
And Mark Davis had the good sense to treat Antonio Pierce to lunch at P.F. Chang's and say, hey, want to stick around and take that interim title off? You're the permanent head coach now.
Hey, there you go. So I think the Raiders finish 5-12.
I was thinking more like 6-11 or 7-10.
Jack, how about you?
Raiders record. I know you just went over their schedule. I'm trying to look. I need to look at it one more time.
I mean, granted, the Raiders have a pretty solid defense. That Antonio Pierce built that defense. It's all going to happen on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and Minshew's not bad.
Minshew's not bad, but it's Aiden O'Connell your guy.
Yeah.
And again, who knows what's going to happen after Week 9? What their record's going to be? If they're 2-7, I think it's time to start shedding some weight.
I think 6 wins. 6 wins, honestly, might be their ceiling.
Like we might see 2 massive trades from the Raiders. We might see Devontae, and we might see a Max Crosby trade. But then again, Crosby is the Raiders. That's the franchise.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I don't think so either.
No,
but you might.
Happen.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it's a hunch.